Welcome, Pet Partners. It's great to be back with you. We are here in the studio with Amelia Gardner, the shelter manager for Rutland County Humane Society, and Diesel, a very handsome guest with us today. Welcome, both of you. It's good to see you.
It's great to be back. It's been a little bit, but
It
we're happy
has
to be
been a
back
little
here.
bit. It's been very, very busy at the shelter,
Yep.
hasn't it?
Yep.
So we were just talking. We want to get back on a good regular schedule for the new year, and that's one of our resolutions, right?
Absolutely.
Because we know how much people love to tune in to the show.
And it's so great to get here, bring an animal, get some off-site, and just to talk about all the animals, because we have so many that are just looking for homes. So
I know, and I love the idea of them getting all settled in and cozy for the holidays and the new year. So let's hope that we can contribute toward that,
Absolutely,
right? With some adoptions. So Amelia is here today to tell us about who we have available for adoption at the Rutland County Humane Society. So get started.
Absolutely. So first off, we have May. May, you've probably seen a couple times. She's been with us actually since May. She's just over a year old now. She's an Akita mix, and she has made a lot of progress since being with us. She's really gaining a lot of confidence. She's learning good leash manners and working with the staff on she just gets really excited and she gets a little mouthy. So the staff have been working really hard with her, and she's a smart dog, and she really wants to please. So anyone who's looking or is familiar with the breed, I would say you don't really need to be super familiar with the Akita breed, as she's not true to the breed as far as she's not super stubborn. She's very easygoing, but she has a lot of energy, and she definitely needs someone who's going to work with her regularly for sure. The big thing with her is really can't go home with other cats. Maybe a confident male dog. It's going to just kind of depend on the dynamics. So we definitely would recommend a dog introduction if you do have another dog at home. But she did an overnight with one of our volunteers, and she did really well with that, and really, with another small dog in the home, and did a really good job. So
that's good to know.
Yeah, it's good to get that experience, and sometimes we can't replicate things in the shelter world. So the next one is Atticus. So Atticus is actually available for foster to adopt. So he's got to wait to get a neuter appointment. So he's looking to get out of the shelter and again get to know a home routine. He's only 8 months old, and he's a Rottie Mastiff mix. So he's going to be a pretty good sized dog. He's a lot of puppy mannerisms, as you can see, jumpy, mouthy. And, so the staff are working with him to kind of just good leash manners and etiquette. He's a sweet dog, loves attention, but definitely you want to work on that and get some good structure in place, because it's, when he's over 100 pounds jumping on you, that's not going to be as much fun.
That's right.
But he's very sweet, very affectionate, really. If you want a big, cuddly dog, he's definitely your guy, for sure. And next we have Rick. Rick is a German Shepherd mix. He is just over 2 years old, and he actually came to us with another dog you'll see later on as a stray. He's really a cool dog. He's good with dogs. I would say a dog that's similar play style, so reasonably high energy would be a really good fit for him. He's seemed fine with cats, so I think if you have a cat or a dog savvy cat at home, I think he would be fine. He hasn't really shown any interest in them. And then I would say older kids, just because he is a little jumpy. So just, again, basic puppy mannerisms as far as jumping and stuff. But he's picking up very well with the staff. Have been working with him on walking and leash manners, and he's doing a really good job. He's just a really sweet boy. Everyone he meets, he really likes. So he just kind of goes up, and he just wants to make friends everywhere he goes, and he does, because he's so charming. He's a cool dog. And next is Ranger. So Ranger is actually his counterpart, if you will. He came in with him as a stray as well, and he's available as a foster to adopt. He came in with some really pretty rough skin. He had some ear infections, and so he actually you'll see he's growing some of his hair back, and so he's still on some meds for that, and that's why he's not available for full adoption, because we just kind of want to monitor and get that rechecked and make sure it's nothing else and that it's in a better place before we adopt him out. But he's growing his hair back. He's a sweet dog. He's a little bit older. We have him closer to I would say 10 years, and I don't know if that's completely accurate, but he's definitely a little older, and he likes his people. He's meets new people, and he goes right up to them, and he's pretty social. They both are really social. They don't really have any desire to interact with each other, so I don't think it's anything. I think they'll both be fine with other dogs. I just don't think they really care for each other, so we're not sure if they're related maybe, or anything like that. But they're both really smart, and so if you know the Shepherd breed, you know, they're cool dogs, and they're a lot of fun for sure.
Very handsome.
He is, and I guess we do, I mean, being that a stray, we don't know if he's good with cats, but kind of like Rick, if you have a dog-savvy cat, I think he would be fine. And again, older kids, just because they are bigger dogs and a little bit of jumpiness, or at least dog-savvy kids for sure for both of them. And next we have our boy Diesel right here. So you'll see he's in his cone of shame. So he is actually almost 12 years old. He came to us as a stray, and his previous owners were just not really in a good position to take him back, so they ended up not coming to claim him. But he's as you'll see, a really sweet boy. He is an older guy, and so he does have, he'll need a dental. He is currently being treated for an active ear infection, so that's why he has the cone on, is because he was doing a little bit of scratching, and so that's just to try to keep him from itching his ears as much. And so we'd love to get him into a foster to adopt home, so he's not sitting in the kennel while he's on some other medications. So, and he's pretty good health for a senior dog.
Yeah.
As you saw when he came in here, he's a social guy. He likes meeting new people. He seems to be totally fine with other dogs. He's an older boy, so just a comfortable house. He loves the outdoors, so definitely long walks, or at least a fenced-in yard, place where he can just kind of move around and be outdoors, because I think he likes to spend his days out there for sure. And
When you first came in, he kept turning toward the door,
Yeah.
the glass door, and looking outside longingly. And I have a dog like that too. Just it'll be cold outside. Come on in,
Right.
get cozy, warm up, and he just back by the door again. Just wants to go out.
yeah, he's
Some
a
of them
big
are
fan
like
of the
that.
fresh air for sure. And he's got a good coat, so I'm sure this chillier weather isn't bothering him at all. So
Really sweet. So imagine sometimes these longer eared dogs get a little more prone to ear infections once in a while. I know my dog got them for a while, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
he wasn't getting them anymore. So
yeah,
keeping
absolutely.
them dry, or
Yeah, and it really does depend. Sometimes it has to do with breeds too. And a lot of times, shepherds, pointy-eared dogs, or erect-ear dogs can be prone, but also the floppy-eared like his. It really depends. It's always good to kind of, no matter what shape their ears are, just always regularly clean them. Make sure, when you're taking them in for their wellness exams at your vet, that they always take a look and make sure there's nothing going on, because, it can really. It's pretty painful. His was pretty bad, and he definitely likes when you itch them, but then it gets to a little uncomfortable for him.
right. Yeah, I know with my dog, he got one that was so bad one time that it really made him hate going to the vet because it was very painful. And
Yeah.
a couple of times they had to even put a muzzle on him. I felt
Oh,
terrible,
yeah.
but then afterward it was like, no, you can take the muzzle off. He's kind of over it now.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
won't hurt anybody, but he was so afraid of having that pain again.
Yeah.
So
And sometimes when they're doing a lot of like head shaking and ear scratching, things like they are kind of signs that maybe
or a
they're
little bit
uncomfortable.
stinky if
Yep.
their ears get a little smelly.
Yeah, or if you see kind of like a black buildup or waxy, it's definitely good to, keep them up to date with their vet visits. And, if they're going regularly, they're usually, you'll know if there are problems and going on in there. So next we have is Aries. So Aries is another foster to adopt. I know, your time is over. Aries is actually, so he's about 5 years old, and he actually was adopted in 2023 and recently returned for just some ongoing skin issues that they just weren't in a position to kind of take care of financially. So he came in pretty rough as far as his skin. So we've been taking care of that and trying to get him, this breed is, pit bulls tend to be pretty prone to skin issues, especially with some white around their face. So he's probably always going to have flare-ups with his skin, but we definitely want to get it to a place where he's not uncomfortable and any infection is no longer active. And so that's why he's available as a foster to adopt. He's on some medication for it, and he has made a lot of improvement since being with us. But again, I'd rather them be in a home, being with a family and, making sure it's a good fit for the family as well, but instead of just sitting in the kennel as he's on his medication.
Right.
So for our cats, we're going to start with Miss Lizzie. So you've probably seen her as well. She's been with us for quite a while, actually, since August, and she was another return from a couple years ago. She is about 7.5 years old, and the reason she was brought to us in August was she wasn't using the litter box. She was pretty overweight at the time, and we worked with her with, she's on a special diet right now, so she has lost some weight actually since being with us. And we also just put her an appropriately sized litter box with a cover on it, and we've had no issues with her at all.
Really? So just a modification like that changed everything?
And she's
That's
been great.
Wonderful.
She's a tortie, so she's a little sassy, but she's actually, I think she's feeling better too, because she's more social than she's ever been. She actually kind of seeks out attention, whereas before she was more of like you can admire me from a distance kind of attitude, but
wasn't feeling good about herself.
No, she wasn't. And sometimes it is things like that where they just don't feel as good, and they're just not, like people, they're not feeling social. So
Right.
she's she doesn't do well with other cats or really dogs, or I would say even kids that are really loud and in her face. She would be better in a quieter home where she has that space where she can kind of come out and on her own terms and can get away if she's stressed out, and not a house with a lot of change and chaos. I think she definitely needs a quieter home.
Her face is adorable. I absolutely remember her. She just has a
She's
really
very unique.
Yeah.
And she really is sweet. She just needs a little bit more time, and I think, she's feeling better, and, we may see her become more and more social as she feels better too, which is great. And so next we have Oliver. So Oliver is about 6 years old, and he came in the end of September. He's another one that he's very sweet, but he's a little quieter, and so young kids that are, just very busy and loud are just a little bit too much for him, and he really shuts down in that kind of environment. He doesn't really love other cats, so he would definitely, and I would say if you had a dog, it would have to be a very cat-savvy dog that really won't bother him in order for him to be happy. He needs another quiet home. He's very affectionate once he gets to know you, and he is very social as long as it's a pretty calm environment and there aren't all these stressors. He's really good with new people, and he's so handsome.
He really is. Look at those eyes.
The little camera boops.
Cute.
And next we have Maggie. So Maggie is a senior girl. She is about 12 years old. And she's a very sweet, you wouldn't know it looking at her. She's very sweet. She's very affectionate. She's actually really social. She's one of the first ones. If you walk in the room, she'll come right up to you asking for pets, just kind of wants to be where the action is. She's great with cats. She's lived with dogs and has done fine with them. Again, dogs that can respect her space would definitely be good. The big thing I know, because she was brought in as an owner surrender, it was something that was told to us that she likes to eat plants. So if you have any kind of toxic plants in your house, definitely take that into consideration, or at least have a plan for keeping her out of that area, because I guess she does actively go and try to eat plants. So
My mom had a cat like that, and we couldn't even get her flowers anymore or
Oh,
anything
yeah.
because the cat would eat the
Yeah.
flowers, and she really had nowhere she could put them where the
Yeah.
cat wouldn't eat them. She couldn't have any plants anymore. So
it's funny how they have just some things they just don't.
Yeah, there
you
must
know?
be something in their body or something that just wants whatever is, but that can be very unsafe.
Or they know it's off
sometimes.
limits, so they know that's what
too,
they want.
right? Or something, I guess, to play at or to bat at, and then maybe they're like, oh, I'll take a little taste.
Exactly. And they have
Yeah.
like little, plant toys you could certainly get her and she could play with, but Yeah, she's a very sweet girl. Next we have Daffy. So Daffy is about 5 years old, if you can see him in there. He came in late October
There he
and
is.
just went on the adoption floor, so he's still kind of settling in, which is why he's hiding in his little box there. But he's good with other cats. He's pretty neutral. He every now and then will play around with them, but he's just kind of coexists with cats. So he is, again, another one that just needs that time, so he would probably do best in a quiet home without a lot of chaos. I think he'd be fine with kids as long as they were old enough to understand that he needs his space and he has kind of a safe place to go when he's feeling overwhelmed. But he was, as soon as we left, he came right out and started walking around, so I think he was just being a little camera shy during this.
Some of them seek it out, and others just want to be away from the camera.
Exactly.
Like
And that's
people.
okay. Yeah, exactly. So next we have Toupee. So Toupee is 5 years old, and another one he's pretty comfy in there right now. He was brought to us as a stray, so we don't have a lot of history, but he does fine with other cats. He's actually pretty social. He plays every now and then, but he likes to be with cats. I think so if you have a confident cat at home, I think he would do really well with them. He is another one that I think just a quiet home, and we think that's pretty true for a lot of cats, is they need that time to kind of get to know a new routine, get to know people, and I think a lot of change, they just need that time to decompress anytime you change things up on
Absolutely.
them.
Yes.
But he's a very sweet boy. He's got some really cool markings on his face too, which is cool. You can kind of see him. It's hard to tell. But
Yeah, he's in hiding there, but
Yes.
he does look pretty cute peeking out.
So next we have Scout. So Scout is another 5-year-old. He was brought to us as a stray as well. Very, very cool. He's got some really cool, like bright, kind of orangish yellow eyes there. He's very social with other cats, and he seems to do well with, more active, busier, time. So when we're in there cleaning or visiting, he comes right out. He's very social, so he may do better in a, compared to the other cats. He may do fine in a little more hectic house that has some more, in and out, new people visiting. He seems to do fine with that. He'll come right up to you when you walk in the room and greet you, and so he's actually kind of chatty too. When you come in and, petting him, or if you're not petting him, he'll come over and just kind of do some little chattering next to you and ask for some pets. So he's definitely a very affectionate cat for sure. So
I love vocal cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love them when they talk with you a little bit.
Absolutely. And it's, if we're in there, we're chatting, and so it's kind of nice to have a cat talk back to you. And it's usually probably demanding. He's asking you, why aren't you petting me? But,
That's okay,
it's still
too.
cute nonetheless.
It's always cute. Aw.
So next we have Clover. So Clover is 2.5 years old. He is another one that's a little more shy and quiet. So again, I think a quiet home. And if, he does well with other cats, but again, he's just kind of calm with them. Doesn't really play with them, but he'll socialize with them. He'll walk around with them, but he's a pretty mellow guy. He's kind of an old soul.
He looks like the type that's going to find the sunniest spot
Yeah, and just
and
hunker
just
down.
lie there and be comfy.
Yeah, and he has come out of his shell since being with us, so he's definitely one that will take a little time to warm up to new people. I mean, he's plenty social. He'll let you pet him and come see him, but once he gets to know you, he actually will kind of seek you out and come and greet you. So he just needs a little time to get to know you before he gets as social as he can be, for sure. But he's a sweet cat. He likes to hunker down in the Tokyo there and watch things, but his own little space there. And next we have Sky. So Sky is 10 years old, believe it or not. The big thing about Sky is that Sky is actually declawed, so it's going to be really important that he goes to a house that he's an indoor-only cat. Declawing a cat not only takes away their defenses, and it can actually make them less social, so he's doing fine with other cats, but it's definitely something, if you have another cat, they probably, as long as they're pretty mellow and not, really rambunctious, I think he'll be fine. But sometimes they don't play as well with other cats if they don't have claws. It just kind of changes their mentality with playing. So
It's not fair.
Exactly.
It's a very unfair advantage.
it is, and he's a very sweet cat. He like I said, he's good with cats. He's pretty mellow with them, and takes a little time to get to know you, but kind of like Clover with that was he'll let you pet him, he'll sit there, but until he really kind of recognizes you, he won't really seek you out. But once he sees you now, like when you come in with the staff he knows, he'll come right up to you and say hi, which is really nice. And so next we are going to move on to our bunnies. So we actually have a couple smalls right now. The first one is Baby Blue. So Baby Blue is about 3 years old, and he is a neutered male. Very sweet. He's lived with other bunnies, so if you have another bunny, definitely has a social side to him. He's been handled regularly, so he's fine with, picking up. He needs to kind of get used to. He's okay with it, but he doesn't love it. If you have a home, I definitely think with bunnies, giving them a nice quiet space where they can they're not getting, constant interaction from other animals or kids. They need their social time, but they also need their downtime as well. So giving them their own space is really important for them. But he's pretty content just kind of hanging out, and when you visit him, he's happy to be visited. He'll eat snacks out of your hands, and they're pretty, and they love vegetables. So if and they're a fun thing to have around, because sometimes people will let them just hop around their house, and he definitely likes to be around people, which is nice.
Yeah, just watch out for your electrical cords.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
I know a lot of
definitely
people keep those exercise pens, say in their living room,
Yeah.
and then the bunny can be out and hopping around.
Yep.
And if you can't watch them every second, they're safe, or they'll let them hop around when they can keep a good eye on them.
Exactly,
They do like to
'cause
get into things.
They
but-
do, absolutely. And actually, the cool thing about these guys is they are litter box trained, which is
Wonderful.
nice. So
That's
that definitely
always a
helps,
plus.
especially if they
Yes.
are free ranging. But just in general, it makes cleaning a lot easier, and it's a cleaner environment for everyone.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think people realize how smart they can
No,
be. And
they pick it up on it very
Yeah,
quickly.
absolutely.
And the next one is Pom Pom. So Pom Pom actually came in with Bun Bun that you'll meet next, but they're both available as foster to adopts because they both have to get neutered. But they're under a year old, so we think they're about like 6, maybe a little under 6 months,
Look at
right?
those ears and those cheeks.
So another, as you could tell, social, very sweet bunnies. Take a couple minutes to get used to you. They're fine being handled, but just really quick movements they have to kind of get used to. So just giving them a little time, as you can tell, a little time to kind of get to know you.
That was a little cartoon reaction.
And you can see they've kind of kicked their little bedding around, so they rearrange their living environment for sure. But really cool bunnies. They're social. They like to be pet, and again, they'll eat snacks out of your hand, but they like their little space there. They were housed. Pom Pom and Bun Bun, because they came in together. We did house them together at first, and they just kind of were picking on each other, not aggressively. They just kind of were playing with each other, and Bun Bun wasn't as big of a fan of the play, so
I
we
see.
did end up just separating them just to make it, because they were smaller areas, so we wanted to make
So
sure
is
they
this
had.
in one of the cat rooms?
It is,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the cats don't try to bother them or anything?
Well, we
or-
don't have any cats in there right now.
Oh, there's nobody in there
Yeah,
right now.
So
Okay.
our cats are being adopted very quickly, which is great. So we were able to kind of use this cat room and just turn it into a temporary bunny room.
Oh, wonderful.
Because we actually had 4 until one recently, Midnight, got adopted. So we had just to build a room full of bunnies, and so
That's wonderful.
So
Look at that.
It's a nice little spa. So then next we have Bun Bun. So Bun Bun came in with Pom Pom. And again, same age. They're both younger, under a year old. So they're both waiting for that neuter appointment, which is in January. So it's not too far out. But so we definitely would love to get them into a foster to adopt home so they can live in a home, build that relationship, and kind of get used to their new
Look at
family.
those long ears.
They're really
They're
cool.
also different and so cute.
Really pretty bunnies. And
I like bunnies.
definitely were handled, as little ones. So, quick movements, as you can see, will definitely startle them a little bit, but they like to be handled. They like the social side of things. When you open the door to go clean, they're, at the front of their X pens, they're looking at seeing what you're doing. So they're very curious, and they're a cool age too, because you can definitely get them into your new routine without having a lot of, work around for any kind of, So they're, waiting to go for a home. So if you're looking for some bunnies, we got 3 males that are, ready to go home.
Yeah,
And
these are wonderful, wonderful choices.
yeah, and that's
Very
right
cute.
now. It's what we've got for adoption. So we're pretty full building now.
Yes, you are bursting at the seams, I'm
Yes.
sure. So let's see. Are there some things that you're needing at the shelter right now? What can
Yeah.
people do?
Yeah, so this time of year, temperatures are dropping, so we're definitely bedding. We're always in need of sheets,
Okay.
towels, blankets, anything like that. We go through a lot more in this time of year, and soft treats, Nyla bones. So the big thing is, we this time of year when the days are shorter, it's not always the nicest weather, so we may not be getting outside with specifically the dogs as much. So sometimes Nyla bones, Benny bones that we can give the dogs when we bring them into like the office area or other
boredom
parts of the
busters
shelter.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can kind of help with some of the enrichment. I know, and things like that. Soft or wet kitten food and cat food is definitely needed.
Bless you,
you know.
Diesel.
Someone is wanting to be the star of the show now.
I like
guess.
it. He said, "This is my last chance, and I have a little extra time, so he's going to show off for us."
I mean, who doesn't love a goofball like
Oh,
that?
I love a
mean,
goofball.
He's a total ham, and he's pretty easy. He's definitely a little anxious when he's sitting there, but this is a lot to ask for a dog to sit here and
And
be
it's a
talked
totally
about.
new place. But he's been
Yeah.
good. He's just
Yeah.
a little bit of whining, but that's not a big deal.
And I think he was used to kind of being outside a lot and not really having to sit still and not being told he can't go somewhere. So I think
Right.
this,
Did
the
he have
concept-
some kind of a fenced area, or what was his situation?
I don't know the details, being a stray. I don't know really the dynamics of his living quarters, but I think he spent, from what it sounds
So
like.
he was a stray, and then he got adopted and came, or what was?
No, so the owners knew he was here at the shelter, and
Okay.
they ended up just not being in a position to take him back.
Okay.
And so, we held him for the full stray hold, and, so we tried to get as much information as we could about him, but, and we had seen him before. He'd come in another time, I think it was last year as a stray, so
Okay.
we recognized him when he came in, and that's why we
Yeah.
knew his name was Diesel.
Aw.
So, he knows his name, which is great. He's a really sweet boy. He just he wants a home. He's 12 years old almost, so he wants a comfy couch. Definitely, if you're outside and you're home a lot, outside working, in the lawn or just kind of outside doing chores, he's your dog. He'll sniff around, but he will stay with you. He likes this, he's social. He wants to be with his people, but he also wants to just kind of follow his nose, but stay close.
Right.
So he definitely likes, and I think this kind of weather he's pretty used to, and he's got a good coat for it, so chillier
Yeah.
days don't bother him at all.
Don't seem to at all. He just wants to get back out there.
Yeah, he does. But
Oh, well, I really hope he finds his foster home, and hopefully it will be a
Yeah.
foster failure.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the
And
best kind.
foster failures are really successes for the shelter,
Yeah.
honestly, and
He's in his senior years, but he just seems pretty good. in
yeah,
terms
he's
of
overall,
health
other
and-
than his ear infection and a couple things here and there with his skin, he's a healthy dog.
Yeah.
And he definitely doesn't act like he's 12. He's got a little bit of cataract stuff going on in his eyes, but it doesn't seem to really affect his eyesight too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a really sweet boy.
He needs his teeth done, but they all do at that age. I know my
Yeah.
dog is due for one. He's 10. and
Yeah,
he
so he's
needs it.
definitely coming to that time, but he doesn't have any issues eating. We do recommend when they are due for dentals, get them soft food or just put water on their food just to help, but it's not at the point where it's causing any kind of pain. It's just, he's 12 years old,
Yeah.
so he needs a good cleaning.
Wish you all the best, Diesel. And if you're out there and you're just falling in love with somebody that you've seen today, I'm hoping that you will give a call to the shelter, check out their website, or come in during their visiting hours,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
just, come and make that love connection.
Yeah, and-
Find your pet partner.
Absolutely, and even if you're not sure, just come stop by and visit.
Absolutely. You never know who's going to worm their way into your heart.
Exactly.
For sure. So we'll see you next month.
Yeah.
And-
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.